I've been waiting for a week. What is the sulfite cliffhanger?
You're going to have to find out today on Medical History Mysteries.
So one thing that was pretty cool this time, now this happens periodically, and so you guys are so welcome to send in emails if you ever want to have us cover a topic, or if you have a question, or if you need a little bit more clarity on a topic we cover in Medical History Mysteries. We had somebody email in a question, and so we decided, instead of just emailing them back, that we would address it right here on Medical History Mysteries. So the question was, what's the story with patients with sulfa allergies? Are there local anesthetics that are safe, and are there ones that are not so safe?
Okay, so the first thing we have to realize is you're going to hear me say it in a little weird way, because with my Brooklyn accent, when people hear me say sulfa, they thought I said sulfur. So, okay, no idea what he just said, right? So, so I say sulfa, okay, and I make sure I make that last A really count. Sulfa, almost like, let me see some uvula, sulfa.
That's
Wow.
fancy.
Well,
So
it's very fancy, very fancy. And the reason, of course, is because we've got to really differentiate between a sulfa allergy, right? A sulfite allergy, and good old sulfur, the atom. Are they related? Are they not related? What's the story? So, one common misconception out there is that since Articaine contains sulfur, the atom, right, in its chemical makeup, that you can't give a patient who has a sulfa allergy Articaine because it's got sulfur. One has nothing to do with the other. Okay. So Articaine can have all the sulfur it wants. It makes no difference to us in the practice of dentistry, because even if a patient has a sulfa allergy, it doesn't matter. Okay. And that's why a lot of patients come to us and say, I've got a sulfa allergy. Write that down. But honestly, we don't use anything in dentistry that contains sulfa. So the risk of having an interaction or an allergic reaction with sulfonamides is pretty rare. We don't use anything with sulfonamides in dentistry. So to recap so far, sulfur, the atom, has nothing to do with sulfa, which is a short way of saying sulfonamides. And we don't really use sulfonamides in dentistry anyway. However, sulfites are preservatives that are found in every cartridge of local anesthesia that contains epinephrine. So if your patient has a true sulfite allergy, can you give them epinephrine? No. And since Articaine is only available with epinephrine, can you give them Articaine? No. So maybe that's what leads to the confusion. To recap, if your patient has a need for Articaine, can you give it to them if they have a sulfa allergy? Absolutely. Can you give it to them if they have a sulfite allergy? Absolutely not.
But it's not because of the Articaine itself, it's because of the sulfite preservative in any local anesthetic that contains epinephrine. Now, okay, this is a silly question, but I associate sulfur with smelling like eggs. What does Articaine smell like?
It smells lovely because it has sulfur in the chemical structure itself, but it's not a sulfurous compound by itself. So it doesn't have that sulfurous smell that some sulfur dioxide and other sulfurous compounds have. So Articaine smells pretty much neutral, which I'm sure your patients would have told us by now, right? If it smelled otherwise. But bottom line is, it doesn't have that sulfurous compound in it to create the odor. And the sulfur in Articaine is a good thing because it makes Articaine incredibly fat soluble, and that allows Articaine to penetrate tissues deeper and more quickly than you'd see in other anesthetic agents that don't have that sulfur.
Interesting. So if you ever needed more information about sulfa, sulfite, sulfur, and I guess even sulfide, right? Like polyvinyl or polysulfide impression material. I don't know if I've had such a comprehensive sulfa conversation as I've had right here.
Only a geek like me could tell you the lowdown on sulf. How about that? So what can I say?
The lowdown on sulf. Well, you know what? We wouldn't have had this conversation if you guys didn't write in and send us an email. So thank you so much for doing that, giving us a topic to cover and uncover one more reason that my friend here is a nerd. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
See you next week.
Next week.
Bye.
Bye.